The smartphone screen trembles. No, it's my hands that are shaking. Messages from them have been arriving. 3 in a row since yesterday. Let's talk, Ava. We're family, after all. Family. It took them 12 years to say that word, and now they suddenly want to talk. While thinking this, I swipe the screen and my mother's Instagram post catches my eye. A photo uploaded 30 minutes ago. There was no seat for me in your family photo anymore. Family Christmas dinner, blessed family, father, mother, and my younger brother Jake. The 3 of them smiling at the dining table. The chair I always sat in has been pulled away from the table and pushed against the wall. My finger trembles as I zoom in on the screen. In the background, there's a family portrait showing 4 people. A photo of 8-year-old me laughing on Dad's lap. Back then, we were still a family. I swipe to the next post. Jake's account. The same photo with a different caption. Finally, a peaceful Christmas. Family is precious. A sharp pain runs through my chest. 12 years. For 12 years, I had been erased from their lives. Why are they contacting me now? The answer remains unclear. But one thing is certain. I will never forget that night. 12 years ago, that night. Welcome home, Ava. When I opened the front door, a voice called from the living room. But something was different. The tone was hard. The air was heavy. My heart began beating an anxious rhythm. I walked down the hallway, taking my backpack off my shoulder. My new sneakers echo on the hardwood floor. My favorite shoes that I bought with my part-time job earnings last week. I bought them as my own expression of determination to work hard for college applications. When I step into the living room, what I see there stops me in my tracks. Jake is standing in front of the wall next to the fireplace. There's a fist-sized hole in the drywall, and his right hand is wrapped in bandages. The blood drains from my face. Before I can understand what happened, fear races through my entire body. What happened here? My voice is shaking. Father and mother turn around. In that moment, I understand. The verdict has already been rendered in their eyes. In a trial without a jury, I have already been found guilty. My heart turns cold as ice. You did this. Mother's voice trembles. But the trembling isn't from anger. It's from disappointment. A disappointment that cuts deeper into my heart. You hit Jake and put a hole in the wall. My world stops for a moment. Blood roars in my ears. Time feels frozen. Is this a nightmare? Is this the reality I know? I didn't do it. I deny immediately. My voice is desperate and shaking, but no one is listening. 3 pairs of eyes are looking at me, but they're not hearing my words. My very existence is being questioned. Jake looks at me. For an instant, a light of victory dwells in his eyes. Calculated satisfaction. Then begins the perfect victim act with tears swelling up. I feel something cold run down my spine. Why are you attacking me, sister? What did I do? His voice trembles and tears stream down his cheeks. Are you jealous about the college recommendation letter? The recommendation letter. That's right. Today, Jake had received an early acceptance notification from Stanford University. While I was still desperately writing applications, he had already decided his future. But I'm not childish enough to resort to violence over something like that. I had genuinely congratulated him on his success. That's not true, I strongly deny. I didn't do anything. Besides, I was at the library today. Ask Mrs. Johnson, the librarian. There are even security cameras. My desperate plea cuts through the air. But my family's expressions don't change. They're seeing what they want to see rather than the truth. The evidence is right in front of us, Father says. His voice is cold as ice. The image of Father rejoicing over Jake's Stanford acceptance as if it were his own overlaps in my mind. For him, Jake is the perfect son, his pride and joy. I won't let you ruin Jake's future. I won't allow you to commit any more violence against this family. Dad, please, my voice cracks. The relationship built over 17 years is about to crumble in an instant. My heart is torn between fear and despair. Listen to me. I really didn't do anything. Mother stands up. Let's search Ava's room. There might be some clues. Search my room? They're treating me like a criminal. The moment I fell from family member to suspect. Do you think I'm lying? I desperately hold back, tears about to overflow. Jake has no reason to lie. Mother interrupts. You've always been jealous of him. His grades, sports, popularity with friends. Jealous? Me? It's true that Jake was perfect. Top grades in his class, soccer team captain, student council president, and today's Stanford acceptance. But I was trying hard too. Literary club activities, community volunteer work, a 3.8 GPA average. But in my parents' eyes, my efforts weren't visible. I was always in Jake's shadow. No matter how hard I tried, no matter how good I was always second in this house. Always. In that moment, everything became clear. A silence resembling resignation visits my heart. I'll give you 1 hour, Father says, looking at his watch. Pack your things. I'm going to call your grandmother now. Go there immediately. You're kicking me out? My voice becomes a strangled sound. Fear and disbelief mix together. Dad, I don't want to see your face anymore. Go cool your head. Father's voice shows no mercy. There's no place for you in this house anymore. Going to grandmother's house, is that supposed to mean it's not banishment? It was a de facto expulsion disguised to save face. I can see Mother picking up the receiver, as if she's cleaning up a troublesome matter. I go up the stairs and look back. Jake is looking up at me. His face shows a perfect expression of sadness. But only his eyes are different. Only his eyes shine with victory. Sorry, sister, he says in a small voice. In a voice that the parents can't hear. But this family needs me more than you. I continue up the stairs without looking back. If I had turned around, I might have actually hit him. While feeling something completely break in the depths of my heart. 1 hour in my room was a space filled with 17 years of life. On the walls were awards from middle school literary contests, photos from high school drama club, mementos with friends. But now, all of these are about to become things of the past. I don't know what to take with me. My hands are shaking and I can't pack properly. I start by opening a large suitcase. Uniforms, casual clothes, underwear. I stuff them in mechanically. Kill the emotions and focus on the work. There's no time to cry. I take out my diary from the vanity drawer. A diary I've been writing every day since 7th grade. 5 volumes of adolescent records. I absolutely cannot leave this behind. My truth is recorded here. I try to take out a family photo from the picture frame and my hand stops. 3 years ago at Christmas. A family photo of the 4 of us. Everyone is smiling. I was smiling too. But thinking back now, something was already wrong then. My parents' favoritism toward Jake had already begun. But that family no longer exists. My hand makes the photo tremble. I put down the photo and instead take one of me with grandmother. A photo from last month's birthday when we ate cake together, just the 2 of us. Only grandmother was always on my side. Now I realize she was the only one who truly understood me. After 30 minutes had passed, there's a knock on the door. My heart jumps. I'm coming in, Mother's voice. I don't turn around. I continue stuffing books into the suitcase. I must not become emotional. I need to stay calm. Ava. Mother calls my name. There's a slight hesitation mixed in her voice. Is she perhaps starting to doubt? Did you really do nothing? I stop my hands. This might be the last chance. A small hope flickers in the depths of my heart. Mom, I turn around. Mother's eyes are red. Had she been crying? Or is it just fatigue? I really didn't do anything. Check the library records. There are security cameras too. There's plenty of evidence that I was there. Mother's lips tremble. But Jake has no reason to lie. There is one, I assert. I put conviction in my voice. You think I said something to Dad about the Stanford thing, don't you? But I didn't say anything. Rather, I genuinely congratulated him. The memory comes back. Me genuinely happy about Jake's acceptance. Me sincerely celebrating my brother's success. So why did it come to this? Mother shows a confused expression. For the first time, she seems to be having doubts. Then why? Time's up. Father's voice echoes from downstairs. A merciless voice. Mother closes her mouth. In the end, she can't say anything in front of Father's authority. My hope is shattered. 30 minutes left. I pack the last of my belongings, while holding back tears. To Grandmother's house when the rain began falling heavily. I was standing in front of Grandmother's house, dragging a heavy suitcase, soaked to the skin. Cold rain runs down my cheeks. I can't tell anymore if it's tears or rain. The front porch light is on. Is Grandmother still awake? It's past 11 p.m. Isn't it rude to suddenly appear at this hour? But I have nowhere else to go. As a 17-year-old, I have no one else to rely on. I hesitate before pressing the doorbell. But there are no other options. I press the bell. The door opens immediately. Grandmother is standing there, as if she had been waiting for me. The moment I see her kind eyes, the emotions I've been holding back threaten to overflow. Ava, Grandmother's small body embraces me. You're soaked. Come on, come inside. Grandmother doesn't ask anything. What happened? Why I came in the middle of the night? She just accepts me. My heart is saved a little by this unconditional love. While drying myself with a warm towel, I explain the situation. Jake's accusation, my parents' decision, and the banishment. Each time I put it into words, it becomes more real. That child has always been good at lying, Grandmother says quietly. When he was 7, he picked flowers from the neighbor's house and blamed it on you. You were 9 years old, but for some reason your parents believed Jake's words. Grandmother's words lighten my heart a little. Someone believes me. Someone doesn't doubt my innocence. Even if it's just one person, there's someone who understands me. But why do Dad and Mom? People see what they want to see, Grandmother answers while pouring tea into a cup. For your parents, Jake must be the perfect son. They can't accept truths that would shatter that illusion. I wrap both hands around the teacup. The warmth seeps into my frozen heart. But in contrast to the physical warmth, my heart remains cold. What should I do? My voice becomes small. Grandmother sits across from me. Her face shows deep compassion. Become strong and keep records. Of today, of what's to come, everything. There will come a day when the truth is needed. That night, in the small guest room of Grandmother's house, I began writing a new diary. December 15th, 17 years and 4 months old, the day of banishment. I write only facts. I can sort out emotions later. Accurate records are important now. Believing in Grandmother's words. The beginning of a new life when I wake up the next morning. A good smell is coming from the kitchen. Bacon and pancakes. Grandmother is making breakfast. Good morning, Ava. Grandmother's smile is warm. Did you sleep well? Actually, I didn't sleep a wink. But I don't want to worry Grandmother. Thank you, Grandma. While eating breakfast, I face reality. 6 more months until high school graduation. Where will I live during that time? What about money? What about college? You can stay here for a while, Grandmother says as if reading my mind. But there's a condition. A condition? Get a part-time job, learn to earn money, and continue studying. You have talent. Talent. What kind of talent? Writing. Grandmother continues. Your writing has power. Learn how to turn that into money. That afternoon, I visited the local newspaper office. It was a small local paper, but they were looking for student part-timers. Do you like to write? Editor-in-Chief Mrs. Anderson asks. Yes, I answer. I like telling stories. Well, then, let's try it. Cover this weekend's community event. I'll pay you $200. $200. For me, it was a fortune. But what made me happier than the amount was that someone believed in my potential. Final high school days, and the path to college. My position at school was delicate. Rumors that I had been kicked out by my family had already spread, but no one knew the details. My friends were worried about me, but explaining the circumstances was too painful. I could only say I had problems with my family. Jake was still the school's popular kid. He used his bandaged hand as material for sympathy, gathering even more attention. The story of being assaulted by his sister became an episode that enhanced his charisma. I increased the time I spent in the library. I had been using the library frequently before, and Mrs. Johnson, the librarian, noticed my change. "You've been writing a lot lately," she says, peering at my notebook. "It's a diary," I answer. "Could you show me?" Excluding private parts. I hesitated, but moved by her kind eyes, I showed her some essays. "This is wonderful," Mrs. Johnson says with admiration. "Why don't you submit to the local literary contest? There's prize money too." Submitting to a contest. It was a new challenge. I wrote an essay themed around banishment. Of course, while based on real experience, I wrote it as fiction. The work of sublimating raw emotions into objective writing was difficult, but at the same time it was healing. 2 months later, the results were announced. First place. Prize money $500. At the award ceremony, I felt my own worth for the first time. Even if my family didn't recognize me, I have value. My words have power. As high school graduation approached, the issue of college admission arose. I had completed scholarship applications, but the results weren't out yet. State University would have lowered tuition, and combined with scholarships, it might work out somehow. I calculate while consulting with grandmother. But living expenses were the problem. Dormitory fees, food costs, textbook fees. Would it be possible to study while working part-time? Then, unexpected news arrived. "Dear Ms. Ava Mitchell, congratulations. Your literary scholarship application has been approved." A literary scholarship. The essay I wrote was evaluated, and I would receive an annual scholarship of $5,000. "You did it." Grandmother hugs me. "Your words have been recognized." But along with joy, I also had complex emotions. The feeling of wanting to report to my parents. But they probably aren't interested in my success. College growth. The State University campus was a new world for me. A place without the shadow of family. A place where no one knew my past. At orientation, I met Tara, a literature major with bright blue hair. First time living alone, she approaches with a friendly smile. "Something like that," I answer vaguely. "Me too. It feels amazing to be free from parents, doesn't it?" Freedom. Maybe that's true. But in my case, freedom was a necessity, not a choice. The first semester was tough. Classes, part-time work, and studying repeatedly. Average of 4 hours of sleep. But it was fulfilling. I felt the reality of living by my own strength. What I particularly liked was the creative writing class. Professor Martinez was strict but fair, valuing each student's individuality. "Your writing has a unique power," the professor told me after class one day. "Authenticity born from pain. But at the same time, I can feel hope. Authenticity born from pain." It was an accurate expression. In my sophomore year, I joined the campus newspaper editorial staff. Publishing 3 times a week, I handled a wide range of tasks from article writing to editing. When I wrote an article about family problems, there was an unexpected response. "I read your article," a female student approaches me. I have similar experiences. I was rejected by my family and came to college alone. Her name was Sarah, a third-year economics major. "Why don't we start a support group?" Sarah suggests. "For students with family problems." A support group. It was a wonderful idea. We started with a small group meeting once a week in a corner of the library. It began with 3 people. but spread by word of mouth and grew to 15 people by the end of the semester. I wrote an article about that activity, titled "The Hidden Families of Campus." The article caused a big response both on and off campus. It was reprinted in local newspapers, and I was interviewed by a professional journalist for the first time. Establishing independence in the summer of my junior year, I worked as an intern at a local newspaper. It was a larger daily paper, different from the newspaper where I had worked part-time in high school. "I've read your writing," Editor-in-Chief Mr. Johnson greets me. "The campus newspaper articles, right? Very impressive. Even though you're an intern, we'll have you write real articles here. I want to assign you to the social affairs section to cover local issues." The social affairs section. An opportunity to work alongside professional journalists. My first assignment was about a local youth support facility, a place where teenagers with family problems gather. For me, it wasn't someone else's business. I spent 2 weeks writing the article, a 5,000-word long piece. After publication, the editorial office was flooded with phone calls. Most were positive responses, and some readers even offered donations. "You have talent," Mr. Johnson calls me. "Even after the internship ends, would you like to write articles as a freelancer? We'll start at $300 per article, $300. For a college student like me, it was a fortune. But what made me happier than the amount was being recognized as a professional. After college graduation, I became a full-time freelance writer. I rented a small apartment, furnished it with the bare minimum, and began a new life. At first, it was tough. No stable income, chased by monthly payments every day. But I was free. No need to meet someone's expectations. No worry about disappointing anyone. A few months later, I got a request to write blog articles from a tech startup. A monthly contract for $2,000. For the first time, it was an amount that allowed me not to worry about the future. In my third year as a freelancer, my income exceeded $5,000 per month. I had more clients and choices. And in my fifth year, I had established a small company, Mitchell Content Strategy. Contact after 12 years and now. Last week, my activities were featured on a national news program. 1 week after that, I received a call from a familiar number. A call from Mother. After 12 years. Now I clearly understand the reason for the messages that have been coming one after another since then. I stared at the incoming call without answering. My hands are shaking. I had imagined this moment many times, but when it actually came, I didn't know how to react. A few minutes later, a message arrives. "Ava, I want to talk, please." That night, I had a long conversation with grandmother. Even at 88, grandmother was still my best counselor. "What do you want to do?" grandmother asks. "I don't know," was my honest feeling. Should I talk to them, or should I keep my distance? That's for you to decide. But if you do talk, be prepared. They might not have changed. The next day, I replied, "Next Saturday, 2 p.m. Bloom Cafe downtown. Bloom Cafe. A place grandmother often took me to. Neutral, not bound by memories. This time with me holding the initiative. Saturday afternoon, I sat at a table in the back of Bloom Cafe. Unlike 12 years ago, I now have an escape route. I can leave anytime. At exactly 2 p.m., my parents come in. I'm surprised by their changes. Father's hair is completely white, and mother has deep wrinkles. I feel the weight of 12 years. But their expressions are the same as before. A face mixing confusion and expectation, as if expecting me to give them something. "Ava," mother calls my name. Tears swell up in her eyes, but I can't tell if they're real. After 12 years of silence, I can no longer read their emotions. I don't stand up. I have them sit down. This time, I hold the initiative at the table. My heart is beating fast, but I maintain composure on the surface. "It's been a while," I greet calmly. My voice is more stable than I thought. "I saw you on TV. Mother continues, I knew you were successful, but not to that extent. They knew I was successful. Does that mean they were watching over me? Or is it just small talk? They never contacted me once in 12 years. What do you want? I asked directly. I don't want to waste time. Father opens his mouth. We want to start over, as family. As family. Something moves in the depths of my chest at those words. But it's not joy, it's weariness. Why now? Why after the TV appearance? Not a single contact in 12 years? Uncontrollable emotion mixes into my voice. We thought you were rejecting us. Mother makes excuses. I inwardly scoff at those words, a lie. I never rejected them. There was no contact at all. They just decided on their own. So why now? I get to the heart of the matter. Silence. My parents exchange glances. In that moment, I sense their true intention. And Father opens his heavy mouth. We're in financial trouble. There it was. They came seeking help, knowing I was successful. Not out of family love, but driven by financial necessity. The last illusion crumbles in my heart. Still, they were my parents. Blood ties can't be changed. How much do you need? I ask practically. $50,000. Father's voice is small. Embarrassed. $50,000. Considering my annual income, it's not an impossible amount. But the problem isn't the amount. It's their motivation. I laugh quietly, not with irony, but with something closer to pity. How interesting. When you kicked out 17-year-old me in 1 hour, you never thought about my future. But now you come to that same me for help. Mother's face reddens. About the past. The past? My voice hardens. Emotion begins to surface. For me, it's ongoing. The reality I've faced every day for 12 years. The air becomes tense. Other customers in the cafe begin to notice our strained atmosphere. I have a condition, I continue. Regaining composure. Hope lights up in my parents' eyes, as if they think a deal will be made. Gather the whole family and tell the truth. What truth? Father's voice becomes guarded. What really happened that night? Jake's lie and your misjudgment. Mother's face turns pale. We can't do such a thing. Why? I ask coldly. Think about Jake's position. Mother pleads. He has a career, a family. I stand up. I have a career too. One I've built myself since 12 years ago. We'll consider it, Father says finally. Still not giving up hope. I'll wait 1 week. I set a time limit. If you don't have an answer by then, never contact me again. A week passed without any contact from my parents. I had expected this result, but still felt a small disappointment. On the 8th night, this time Jake called. What are you trying to do? His voice is full of anger. Even after 12 years, the same arrogance from that time remains. I just told the truth, I answer calmly. Are you trying to ruin my life? I have a family. Family. Jake had a family too. Does his child know about their father's past lies? The same thing you did to me. That's ancient history. Jake's voice trembles. Just forget about it. I can't forget. Not until you apologize. I can hear Jake breathing heavily on the other end of the phone. After a long silence, he said, Fine, let's meet. That weekend, we met at a neutral location. A park near the university. A place where our family often had picnics. Ironically, it became a confrontation at a place of family memories. Jake had changed. The arrogance from when he was 17 had faded, showing a tired expression. He has the appearance of a successful businessman, but regret dwells in his eyes. Sit down. I point to a park bench. He sits obediently. The positions had reversed from before. Now I hold the initiative. Why did you tell such a lie? I asked directly. The question I've carried for 12 years. Jake was silent for a while, but eventually opened his heavy mouth. It was jealousy, he muttered while looking at the ground. Always. Since we were kids. Jealousy? I was speechless. Perfect Jake was jealous of me? Of your writing ability. Our parents didn't notice, but I understood. You had real talent that I didn't have. I was afraid that someday you would surpass me. Every time I watched you succeed through your own strength from afar, I felt like I was being crushed by the weight of my lies. When I saw you on TV, I thought I had reached my limit. I was shocked by those words. Was that the reason? But you had gotten into Stanford. That was just being good at studying. You had real talent. I thought you would eventually surpass me. It was ironic. What he feared had become reality. But it was also accelerated by his lies. I apologize, Jay continues. His voice is shaking. I'm truly sorry. But it's too late now. It's not too late, I say. Now is the time. I look into his eyes. There's maturity and regret that wasn't there when he was 17. What I did ruined your life, Jake continues. But you accomplished it admirably. Much more admirably than me. I was scared back then, I speak honestly. Kicked out at 17, I wondered what would happen. But that experience made me strong. You are strong, Jake acknowledges. You always were. I didn't have that strength. We sat in silence for a long time, feeling the 12-year gap gradually narrowing. Are you going to tell our parents? Jake asks. That's up to you, I answer. But the truth should be revealed. I understand, he nods. I'll propose a family meeting. I'll tell everything. Revealing the truth and family reactions 1 month later, a family meeting was held at my cousin Rachel's house. Participants included grandparents, uncles and aunts, cousins, and me. Jake also participated. My parents initially refused to participate, but eventually attended due to pressure from other family members. The family gathered in the living room. After 12 years, I was surrounded by many relatives. But this time, I'm not in the defendant's seat. I want to tell everyone the truth. Jake stands up. His voice is trembling but full of determination. And he explained in detail what had happened that night 12 years ago. His lies, motives, and subsequent regret. The family was shocked. Especially the grandparents seemed deeply disappointed in their grandson's behavior. We were wrong, Uncle David speaks. We shouldn't have suspected Ava. But the parents didn't know anything. Aunt Sarah defends the parents. They didn't try to know, I say quietly. They didn't try to listen to me. Mother was crying. Real tears. I'm sorry, Ava, we were the worst parents. Father remained silent. Pride seemed to prevent him from saying words of apology. After discussing it together, Uncle David makes the final statement. We support Ava. She is the pride of this family. Applause erupts. Warm, heartfelt applause. Grandmother takes my hand. You did the right thing. After 12 years, I was surrounded by real family. A family bound not by blood ties, but by bonds based on truth. A new chair, 3 years have passed since then. My company has expanded, and the number of employees has increased to 15. From the 30th floor office, you can see the Austin skyline, and the view from the window is breathtakingly beautiful. But the biggest change was in my heart. Past anger and resentment had transformed into understanding and peace. I had gradually repaired my relationship with Mother. We had developed a relationship where we talk over tea once a month. It's not easy, but we're making progress little by little. The relationship with Father is still difficult, but time might resolve it. I keep in regular contact with Jake. He's teaching his son about the existence of Aunt Ava, to pass on the importance of truth to the next generation. What I'm most proud of is the nonprofit organization Voice of Truth that I established 3 years ago. A program that teaches writing skills to young people with family problems and supports their independence. We've supported more than 50 young people so far. At one-day seminar, I speak to the participants. Your experiences are not weaknesses. They are sources of strength. Truth born from pain moves people's hearts the most. Among the audience, There's a girl with the same eyes as 17-year-old me. After the seminar, she approaches me. I was also betrayed by my family, she says quietly. How did you recover? I look into her eyes. There's the same pain as me 12 years ago, and the same seeds of strength. One step at a time, I answer. And remember that real family isn't determined by blood relations. In the evening office, I'm working on a new manuscript, the final chapter of my memoir. The title is My Own Chair. 12 years ago, I was excluded from the family dining table. But now I have my own chair, a solid place that no one can move. On my desk, the latest email from Mother is displayed. Congratulations on publishing your book. Could you tell me more about it over tea next time? It's a short message, but it has a more natural sound than before. Our relationship repair isn't complete, but it's definitely progressing. I write a reply. Thank you. How about next week? After sending, I lean back in my chair. Outside the window, the Austin night scene sparkles. Each light seems to represent each person's life story. A notification comes to my smartphone. A message from Emma, a 17-year-old participant in Voice of Truth. Miss Ava, the scholarship results are out. I passed. With the power of writing you taught me, I was able to grasp the future. I smile. Emma became the adult I wanted to meet 12 years ago. I write the final sentences. What is family? Something determined by genes? Or something chosen by love? I can now say with confidence, real family consists of people who accept your truth, support your growth, and understand your pain. Even with blood ties, if those things don't exist, you can't call it family. Conversely, even without blood ties, if those things exist, you can become family. I want to tell 17-year-old me, and someone trembling somewhere right now, it's okay. You can create your own chair. I save the text and stand up. Tomorrow is a new day, new challenges, new possibilities. 12 years ago, I was excluded from the family chair. But now I have chairs all over the world. Countless chairs with people I love, people I respect, people who need me. And most importantly, the chair I prepared for myself. A solid place that no one can move. I take my coat and turn off the office lights. Snow is beginning to fall outside. It's a beautiful night. With anticipation for tomorrow in my heart, I head home. To the real home where real family waits.